As people grow older, life begins to change in unexpected ways. One of the most profound and often heartbreaking changes many seniors face is the loss of a lifelong partner or close friends. This type of loss doesn't just bring sadness, it leaves behind an overwhelming sense of loneliness that can deeply affect both emotional and physical health. Imagine spending decades with someone who understands your every glance, who finishes your sentences, who walks beside you through every season of life. Then one day that person is gone. The silence becomes deafening. The house that was once full of shared laughter, morning coffee conversations, and warm companionship now feels cold and empty. This is the reality for many older adults who lose their spouse. The days become long and quiet. There's no one to talk to during meals, no one to share a favorite show with at night, no one to say good morning or good night. The loneliness creeps in slowly, then settles like a heavy fog that's hard to lift. Friends who were once there begin to disappear too. Some pass away, others move, and a few simply drift apart. The once lively circle becomes smaller and smaller until it feels like there's no one left. This loneliness isn't just emotional, it can have real health consequences. Studies have shown that chronic loneliness in older adults is linked to depression, anxiety, high blood pressure, and even heart disease. It can lead to a lack of motivation, poor nutrition, and difficulty sleeping. Over time, loneliness can feel like an invisible illness that eats away at a person's strength and will to stay active. But what makes this kind of loneliness so hard to fight is that it's deeply personal. It's not just about being alone. It's about missing the specific people who brought meaning and comfort to life. No one can replace a lifelong partner. No new friendship can fully fill the space left by a best friend who's been there since childhood. The pain is real, and so is the struggle to move forward. Yet, despite this pain, many seniors find ways to reconnect with the world. Some join support groups for widows or widowers where they can share their experiences openly. Others find comfort in volunteering, caring for pets, or even starting new hobbies they never had time for before. Sometimes it's as simple as talking to a neighbor, visiting a community center, or reaching out to family more often. Loneliness may be one of the hardest challenges of growing old, but it doesn't have to define the rest of life. With time, courage, and connection, even the deepest feelings of loss can begin to heal. Because while the people we love may leave this world, the love they gave us stays, and it's that love that can light the way toward finding joy once again. As we grow older, the routines we once took for granted can slowly turn into daily battles. Simple tasks like buttoning a shirt, climbing stairs, or cooking a basic meal can feel like climbing a mountain. For many seniors, the inability to manage daily living activities becomes not just a challenge, but a constant reminder that life is changing in ways that are hard to accept. It often starts quietly. Maybe it's forgetting to take medication on time or struggling to open a jar. Then, gradually, these small struggles multiply. Getting in and out of the shower becomes risky. Preparing breakfast takes twice as long and feels 10 times harder. Even getting dressed in the morning becomes a source of frustration and exhaustion. Over time, the fear of falling or making a mistake creates hesitation, and hesitation turns into avoidance. For someone who has lived an independent life, this loss of ability cuts deep. There's a sense of pride that comes with doing things on your own, and when that independence starts slipping away, it can feel like losing a piece of your identity. No one wants to ask for help with things they've done their entire life. It's not just about tasks, it's about dignity. Family members might step in to assist, but even that can be emotionally complicated. Many older adults don't want to be a burden. They might smile and say everything is fine, even when it's not. They'll push through the pain, hide the frustration, and avoid asking for support just to maintain a sense of normalcy. But inside, the struggle is real. The loss of control over daily life can also lead to emotional health issues. Anxiety and depression often follow, as seniors begin to feel helpless or ashamed. Some withdraw from social activities simply because they no longer feel capable of keeping up. They may stop going out altogether, skip meals, or ignore basic hygiene, all because each step feels too overwhelming to face. But it's important to remember that needing help doesn't mean failure. There are ways to regain confidence and safety without sacrificing independence. Occupational therapists can help develop personalized routines. Home modifications like grab bars, shower seats, and non-slip flooring can make a huge difference. Using simple tools like dressing aids or pill organizers can restore control in small but meaningful ways. Community programs and senior centers often offer support too, from in-home care to group exercise classes designed specifically for older adults. Even learning to use technology like video calling or health reminder apps can provide a sense of empowerment and connection. Adjusting to new limitations is never easy, but with patience, support, and the right tools, it's possible to continue living a meaningful and active life. Independence may look different than before, but it's still within reach. The key is recognizing that strength doesn't always mean doing it alone. Sometimes real strength comes from knowing when to reach out and take the hand that's there to help. Aging is something we all know will happen, but no one is ever really prepared for the way it changes our bodies. One day you feel strong and steady, and then slowly things begin to shift. Your joints ache a little more in the morning. Your steps are slower. You need glasses to read the newspaper. And no matter how hard you try, you just can't do what you used to. For many older adults, these physical changes are more than just frustrating. They are emotionally painful. Looking in the mirror becomes a different experience. The person staring back doesn't quite match the image you hold in your mind. Wrinkles appear where there was once smooth skin. Hair turns gray or thins out. Muscles that were once strong begin to weaken. These changes serve as constant reminders that time is moving forward and that youth is no longer within reach. But it's not just about appearance. The real struggle comes with the loss of function. Activities that were once second nature now require effort or help. Gardening for hours, carrying groceries, playing with grandchildren, or even standing up quickly from a chair can feel like challenges. And when your body can no longer keep up with your spirit, frustration grows. This emotional toll is often underestimated. It's hard to accept that you may not be able to dance like you once did or go for long walks without feeling winded. It's harder still to feel like you're slowing down in a world that doesn't seem to wait for anyone. Some days it can feel like your body is betraying you, holding you back from the things that bring you joy. For some, these physical changes also bring fear. What if I fall? What if I get sick and can't recover? What if I become dependent on others? These thoughts can weigh heavily, creating anxiety and even sadness. Accepting aging is not about giving up. It's about learning how to adjust without losing hope. Despite the challenges, there is beauty in embracing this new stage of life. While the body may change, the heart and mind continue to grow. Wisdom, patience, and resilience replace the things we lose. Some seniors find peace in slowing down and appreciating life in a different way. They discover joy in simple things: a warm cup of tea, a phone call from a friend, or the laughter of a grandchild. Staying physically active in safe and appropriate ways can help ease the transition. Gentle yoga, walking, stretching, and balance exercises can maintain strength and mobility. Eating well, getting enough sleep, and staying socially connected are also key. Most importantly, practicing self-compassion and letting go of the idea that aging is something to fear can change everything. Getting older may bring changes we can't control, but it also brings a deeper understanding of what really matters. By accepting our physical shifts with grace, we open the door to living fully, right here, right now, in the body we have today. As people age, visits to the doctor become more frequent and medicine cabinets start to fill up with bottles. What used to be a once-a-year checkup slowly turns into monthly appointments, follow-ups, blood tests, and scans. And for many seniors, this growing list of medical concerns brings not just physical discomfort, but deep frustration. It starts with something small, maybe a little high blood pressure or a few aches in the joints. Then comes a diagnosis, followed by a prescription, then another, and another. Before long, your day begins with a handful of pills and ends with another. You can't leave the house without your medication organizer. You have alarms set just to remember what to take and when. Feels like your entire life revolves around managing your health. And the medications, they don't always make things better. Sometimes they come with side effects. One pill might cause nausea. Another might make you dizzy. Then you need a new prescription just to deal with those symptoms. The more you take, the more complicated it becomes. Suddenly you're not sure if you're treating the illness or just fighting the side effects of the last drug. Many older adults feel a deep sense of frustration about this cycle. They didn't imagine growing old would mean spending so much time in waiting rooms, answering the same questions over and over, watching their strength fade no matter how hard they try to fight it. Some begin to wonder, is this how life is supposed to be now? Just managing pain, chasing answers, and hoping the next prescription helps. Beyond the physical strain, there's the emotional weight. It's disheartening to feel like you're doing everything right, eating healthy, exercising, following the doctor's orders, but still not feeling well. You might feel helpless, even angry. And the cost adds up too. Doctor visits, insurance battles, prescription copays. It's exhausting. But it's okay to feel overwhelmed. These feelings are valid. The key is not to let the frustration take control. Talking openly with doctors about what's working and what's not can help simplify your treatment plan. Sometimes medications can be adjusted or even reduced under proper guidance. Getting a second opinion might offer new options. And keeping a clear, written list of medications and symptoms helps you stay organized and in charge. Support systems matter too. Family members, caregivers, and community health workers can help manage the load. Joining a support group, either in person or online, can also make a huge difference. You'd be surprised how healing it is to share your experience with someone who truly understands. Aging with health challenges isn't easy, but you are not alone. Your body might need more help than before, but your voice, your choices, and your hope still matter. Even when medications fill your shelf, there's still room in your life for joy, laughter, and strength. And every step you take to face your challenges, no matter how small, is a step worth celebrating. There comes a time in every parent's life when the house that was once filled with laughter and noise becomes quiet. At first, it's a natural and even proud moment. The kids have grown up. They've found jobs, started families, built homes of their own. You've done your part. You raised them well, taught them values, gave them love. And now they're off writing the next chapter of their lives. But as the days go by, that silence in the house starts to settle in deeper. Mornings that used to be busy with making breakfast or driving someone to school are now slow and still. Holidays are fewer, visits shorter, and phone calls more spaced out. And even though you understand they're busy, you miss them more than you can say. For many older adults, this natural shift brings a deep sense of social isolation. It's not that the children have forgotten. They're just caught up in life, juggling work, raising kids, running households. But when you go days or even weeks without a visit or a real conversation, the loneliness creeps in. You start to feel invisible. You wonder if anyone really notices when you're not feeling well, or if the days just pass without anyone asking how you're doing. You sit at the kitchen table with 2 cups of coffee, out of habit. You see the empty chairs and remember birthday parties, late-night talks, messy dinners filled with laughter. Now those memories echo in a quiet room. The TV becomes your company. You talk to the dog more than people. You scroll through photos on your phone just to feel close to the life you once lived. The hardest part is not the distance. It's the feeling of being left behind. Of watching from the sidelines as life moves forward. Of wanting to be a part of your children's busy world but not wanting to be a burden. You tell yourself it's okay. You're happy they're happy. But deep down you wish someone would stop by just to sit with you, to ask about your day, to listen. And it's not just about your children. As friends age or pass away, the circle gets smaller. Without a job to go to or kids to care for, your opportunities to connect shrink. Loneliness isn't just sadness. It's a health issue. It affects your mood, your sleep, even your physical well-being. But there is hope. Small steps can open big doors. A neighbor's smile, a community center class, a local walking group. These moments can rebuild connection. Technology can help too. A video call, a group message, even learning to send emojis to your grandkids. And when your children do reach out, let them know how much it means. Not out of guilt, but out of love. You may be alone at times, but you are not forgotten. Your life still matters deeply. And your presence, your stories, and your wisdom are gifts this world still needs every single day. For decades, work wasn't just something you did, it was who you were. You woke up every morning with purpose, knowing your skills mattered. You contributed. You showed up. You earned a paycheck and the respect that came with it. And when people asked what you did, you answered proudly. It gave you identity, structure, and a reason to get out of bed every day. But then came retirement, or maybe health issues forced you to stop sooner than expected. At first, it might have felt like a well-earned break. No more commutes, no more deadlines, no more pressure. You thought you'd enjoy the quiet. And for a while maybe you did. But slowly something changed. The days began to stretch longer. The calendar no longer filled up. The phone didn't ring like it used to. And somewhere along the way you started asking yourself a painful question. What am I good for now? Without the routine of work, many older adults begin to feel a sense of loss that goes deeper than just missing a job. It's the loss of value, of feeling needed, of being part of something larger than themselves. When work is gone, it can feel like your worth disappears with it. You look at your hands and remember all they used to do. Build, type, create, fix. Now those same hands rest quietly in your lap. You watch others rushing through their days with a purpose you once knew. You smile and cheer them on, but inside it stings a little. Because even though you've earned this time, it still feels like something important has been taken away. Friends and family say you should relax, enjoy life, take it easy. And you try. But there's a difference between rest and feeling irrelevant. You don't want pity. You want to feel useful. You want to feel like your life still makes an impact. The truth is, your value never left. Simply shifted. You may not clock in or wear a name badge anymore, but your experience, your wisdom, and your voice are still powerful. You have stories that can inspire others. You have knowledge that no classroom can teach. You've been through decades of change and still found ways to keep going. That is strength. Purpose doesn't end with a job title. It lives in mentoring a younger person, in volunteering for a cause, in writing your story, or in simply being there for someone who needs to talk. Some of the most important work you'll ever do happens after retirement, not in an office, but in the quiet moments where your presence brings comfort, laughter, or guidance. It's okay to grieve what you've lost, but never forget what you still have to give. You matter. Your life has meaning far beyond your working years. And every day you show up, even if it's just to smile at someone or share your wisdom, you are still making a difference. 4 years, your days were filled from start to finish. You had alarms to wake you, places to be, people to meet, problems to solve. Your calendar was packed with meetings, errands, projects, responsibilities. Even when you were tired, there was a sense of movement, of purpose, of being needed. You looked forward to retirement like a finish line, imagining quiet mornings, peaceful afternoons, time for yourself at last. But then retirement came, and the stillness felt different than expected. The first week felt like a vacation. You slept in, read the paper slowly, maybe took a walk without rushing. But slowly, as the days stretched on without structure, something started to feel off. The hours became harder to fill. The things you used to say you never had time for somehow didn't excite you like you thought they would. The house got quieter. The days began to blur together. Without the rhythm of a job or daily demands, a strange emptiness creeps in. You wake up not quite sure what the day holds. You eat lunch alone, maybe in front of the TV. The afternoons are long and quiet. And by evening, you wonder where the time went even though it feels like the day never really started. It's not that you're ungrateful. You know how lucky you are to have this time. But underneath that gratitude is a creeping boredom, a restlessness that you can't quite shake. You miss the conversations, the energy, the challenge. You miss feeling useful. You miss the buzz of being part of something. And it's not just about being busy. It's about feeling alive, feeling connected. When daily activities disappear, so does the structure that once gave your life meaning. Without hobbies, social events, or goals to work toward, the days can start to feel like an endless loop. But boredom doesn't have to win. This chapter of life may be different, but it can be just as fulfilling. It starts with small steps, trying something new, reaching out to old friends, volunteering, joining a local class, even learning to use a new piece of technology. It's not about filling time. It's about rediscovering purpose. You don't need a job title to matter. You don't need a paycheck to feel productive. You can write, garden, paint, walk, teach, connect, share, explore. You can be a source of wisdom, joy, humor, and strength in ways you never imagined before. Retirement isn't the end of the story. It's a new chapter, one that's waiting for you to write it your way. There may be quiet moments and slow mornings, but there's also room for discovery, laughter, and growth. Don't let boredom steal this gift of time. This is your chance to turn the blank page into something beautiful. For most of your life you worked hard. You earned your paycheck, paid your bills, saved what you could, and planned for the future. There was comfort in knowing money would arrive like clockwork every 2 weeks or at the end of each month. That steady income brought more than just groceries and rent. It brought security, dignity, and peace of mind. But then came retirement. Or maybe it was a layoff, health issue, or a forced early exit. Suddenly, that dependable stream of income stopped, or at best, slowed to a trickle. Social Security might help. Maybe there's a pension or some savings. But it doesn't feel the same. The financial cushion you thought would be enough now feels a little too thin. And every dollar spent comes with hesitation. Now you think twice before buying groceries or filling a prescription. You avoid eating out. You let your clothes wear out a little longer. You make do. You stretch. You worry. And that worry never really goes away. Follows you to bed. It wakes you in the middle of the night. What if the car breaks down? What if a medical bill comes out of nowhere? What if your savings run out before you do? It's a kind of stress that settles deep in your chest and doesn't let go. You never thought you'd be here. Having to choose between medicine and food, wondering how to make it through the month, feeling embarrassed to ask for help. You worked your whole life. You planned. You did everything right. But somehow it still feels like it's not enough. Financial stress affects more than your wallet. It wears down your health. It eats away at your self-esteem. It makes you feel isolated, ashamed, and anxious. It makes you second-guess everything, even your worth. But here's the truth. Your value isn't tied to your bank account. Needing help doesn't make you weak. Struggling with money in later life isn't uncommon. In fact, many older adults are quietly going through the same thing. They just don't talk about it. But you're not alone. There are programs, services, and communities built to help. From food assistance and utility support to affordable housing and healthcare plans, there are resources designed for people just like you. People who've spent their lives giving, building, raising families, and now need a little help to get through. You have every right to feel stressed. But you also have every right to seek support. Financial hardship is tough, but it doesn't have to define this chapter of your life. With the right information, the right connections, and a little courage to speak up, you can find relief and even hope. You are not your income. You are your resilience, your experience, and your story. And that story is still being written. Aging is often seen as the golden phase of life, a time to slow down, reflect, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. But for many older adults, the journey into later years is filled with emotional, physical, and social challenges that few people truly talk about. Behind the smiles and quiet afternoons, there's often a deeper story. Loneliness becomes a constant companion after the loss of a spouse or close friends. The quiet in the house is louder than it used to be, and simple things like morning coffee or evening conversations suddenly feel empty. At the same time, the body starts to change. Tasks that were once routine, getting dressed, making meals, running errands, begin to feel like steep hills rather than gentle slopes. Accepting these changes is not easy. Looking in the mirror and not recognizing the person staring back can leave anyone feeling lost or discouraged. And while these physical changes demand attention, the emotional toll runs even deeper. Many seniors feel a heavy burden from ongoing health issues, the growing number of medications, and the appointments that never seem to end. Then there's the quiet heartbreak when children grow up, move away, and build lives of their own. That separation, though natural, can leave parents feeling isolated and forgotten. For those who were once defined by their careers, retirement can bring a painful loss of identity. No longer needed in the workplace, some begin to wonder if they're needed at all. Without structure or purpose, days blend into each other. The boredom creeps in slowly, and before long, the mind begins to wander into doubt and regret. Add to that the crushing weight of financial insecurity, the fear of running out of money, the guilt of needing help, the anxiety that comes with every unexpected expense, and it becomes clear how aging can silently chip away at a person's sense of self. But here's the truth. Growing older is not the end of value or purpose. It is a new chapter, and like every chapter, it has its own beauty, its own story to tell. Yes, the challenges are real, but so is the strength that comes from a lifetime of experience. You've overcome so much already. You've loved, lost, worked hard, raised others, and survived things younger people couldn't imagine. And that makes you powerful in ways that can't be measured by income, mobility, or age. This is a reminder that you are not alone. What you're feeling is valid, and there is no shame in struggling. There is courage in acknowledging it, and there is healing in sharing it. Whether it's seeking help, finding community, reconnecting with passions, or simply reaching out to talk, these small actions can spark real change. Thank you for being here and for being open to this conversation. If you found this message helpful or meaningful, please consider sharing it with someone who might need it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel Golden Wellbeing, where we continue to explore the real stories and real solutions for a healthier, happier life at every age.